Hello and welcome to my video. My name is Evelyn and I'm going to talk in this session about this whole crisis of fatigue in the COVID pandemic. We find that a lot of people who get COVID or are having long COVID or even just the vaccines get into a whole issue of fatigue. All right, and I'd like to inform people on why you're getting this problem of fatigue. And it's as a result of deficiency of iodine. Okay, iodine controls the metabolism. It's used by the thyroid gland to control the metabolism, which is the control of energy in our bodies. So when you have fatigue, that is an energy crisis right there. All right, and it shows a deficiency in iodine, especially. There might be other issues, but really the deficiency of iodine is a lot. Before, they've been saying it's about 30% in Europe, but I've recently heard about natural doctors talking about between 60 and 70% deficiency in iodine, and I believe that a lot more, because when you look at the COVID problem, it's been bringing almost everyone down with fatigue. That means a lot of us, yes, are at the limit of what is enough iodine, and that's a deficiency. And when you consider that we live in a world which is full of contaminants, so iodine is good to help clean up the contaminants, especially heavy metals and salts of heavy metals. So the iodine we have then, it is getting less because there's a lot more to clean out. So what is left for the body to use is still less. We have very little iodine, and we don't have to have little iodine. So you can use seaweed to correct this, and you can use Verterra seaweed. Alright, Verterra company is a company by Russian scientists which harvests seaweed in the sea, processes it, and uses high technology to break down the seaweed in such a way that we absorb it more than 90%. Alright, then it's enriched with quercetin, which is a natural immune booster and antihistamine, which is very good for people with autoimmune conditions. Okay, so yes, iodine is what is giving us all this fatigue, and I decided to do a small research, check the Japanese people, because Japanese people use seaweed. It's a staple. They use it almost every day, so they have plenty of iodine which comes from the seaweed, apart from the fact that seaweed is very rich in every type of nutrient. Normally you'll get just about any seaweed has over 100 substances that we need in our bodies. It will have vitamins, it has minerals, it has oligoelements, it has saturated fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids, it has omegas, it has flavonoids. So it's very rich, and that's why the Japanese society is the longest lived, the healthiest society in the world, for example. And a lot of the Asian societies are also doing really well. They use a lot of seaweed. So I decided to check and see what is the case with the Japanese. What are their symptoms of this COVID? Yes, the Japanese have COVID and long COVID as well, but they have all other symptoms except fatigue. I hope you see that very clearly. It's because they have plenty of iodine. Iodine is not a problem. So get yourself, I'll put a link, get yourself some seaweed from Verterra company. It's about the best seaweed you can get in the market. It's all ready to use. Use it. If you're going to get the vaccine, use it. If you check your iodine, you can check your iodine levels. At the pharmacy, you can do that. Use it. It avoids a lot of issues, especially for women, later, because it's good for the reproductive system. So get some iodine, read on iodine, inform yourself more on it. But know that the fatigue that's happening in this pandemic is all because of iodine. So I wish you the very best of health. And yes, you will achieve the best of health with seaweed